Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here with one voice for you. Patriot 6 is here, and Bill Woods and Janet and Lynn, Jeffrey. Let's see, I think I got everybody who's showing up here. Guys, it's Friday. The next time we convene and be together, I think that's the right word, it'll be a new month. Where the heck as January went? Where the heck is all the promises went? And we're going to talk about that. But I want to play the music and I want to do the pledge and I want to get going because we're having a little bit of weather here today. Yeah. Is it real snow? Is it bad snow? Is it what snow? Is it cold? Oh, it's cold. And why? Why our loved president would choose this weather to control the weather at this time of year when people need it. And I'm going to talk about that. And it's just, guys, I'm going to try to tell some truths tonight. Is that okay with you, Ian, and one voice? I'm just going to try to be logical tonight because after last night's big call, I'm totally lost. And we will cover that. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the big call, and especially Brucey, the way he's been acting here lately. Because right now, I followed Bruce for many, many years, but right now, he has no compassion for his followers. All it is about how many programs can Sue sell and how many testimonials can Boring Bob do. But that being said, we're going to get into the show. Hi, Diane VA and Ian and Papa G. Good to see you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless
Ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. How many use truthfully? Give me. I'm back. I'm sorry about that, guys. I told you we was having bad weather here, and I just sat down and I made the statement, God bless the USA. How many people here, just if you want to give me a thumbs up, Janet and Tara and Jeffrey and Ron and One Voice Kevin, Elaine VA, Vanis. When that music is playing, and I know you guys are over here chatting, but when it's playing, how many of you actually find yourself humming along to that music or singing along to it? I know I get up and I walk out into Ron's kitchen, or I walk around the house a little bit. I do a few things that I need to get done. And I find myself singing it. And then it gets in my head, and I'll even find myself like tonight when I go home from Ron's tonight, I'll be sitting there watching TV, or I'll get up at midnight and I'll start walking for half an hour, 45 minutes to get some of my steps in. And I'll find myself thinking of that song and singing it. And it always is a song that kind of, calms me down. And thank you, Tara and Elaine, for putting the thumbs up, for you guys putting the smile faces. That yes, you do that. It's a beautiful song, and it's a song that I think that we're going to have a party someday. We're going to have a lot of parties. But I think before we actually get started, when we get really serious to pop that soda pop, or jump in that swimming pool, or go for a horseback ride, when we really get serious about doing it, I believe we should always start every party we ever have with a Pledge of Allegiance. But not me. Everyone there says it. We all stand. The men takes their hats off. The women put their hands on their hearts the way the men will do. And then we need to play this song. Because, see, some things are just too good to give up. Don't you agree, Ian Bell and Bill Woods? I think that's an excellent idea. But now, let's go into the kids. And I was talking to Ron today about the kids. And we always cover talking to Jimmy, and Jimmy's always posting. But what's kind of amazing, and it kind of has me in a little wonder why. You guys ever get in that? I wonder why. Jimmy will come in and he'll post. He posted something the other day about this happened and it saved X amount of money, and this happened and we saved billions and trillions. And here's a little 11-year-old boy that can understand that, but he wants to talk and post things on Telegram, but he doesn't come in here and chat with you guys. I remember during the summer when I was babysitting a little monkey and Ella and Liam. And I would go over to their house and we'd do an afternoon show. And Ella just loved the fact, Addison, the little monkey, she's going to come up there and she's going to put her little cute face and smile and wave at you. And then she's gone into the cartoons or into her toy room to play. She was gone. Liam, he would sit there and listen. He was Patriot 7. He'd sit there and listen. But Ella had so much fun because Ella felt she was my partner there. She felt that Super Gymnast there was my partner, where she got to sit there. And, her and Janet, I know, used to talk a lot. But the people, when you'd say something like Kevin, if you would say something, Pamela Streb, if you would say something, Tara, One Voice, anybody who says something that I didn't see, because I'm busy doing the show, she'd say, hey, Tara just said this, and I would address it. And boy, I tell you, it's so amazing when you can have someone looking and seeing what's going over there. Now, Kevin, I try to get over here, and Ian Bell, One Voice, I try to get over here, Janet, and see what you guys are saying. but it's hard to talk and read and get over here and try to answer questions. And I'm going to tell you this week in particular, the chat room has been my favorite week for the chat room because there's people over here talking and explaining and understanding what's going on. Is it going as fast as we want? No. But Patriot 11, everything is going to be fine. If you heard when I said when we have our party, we're going to have horseback riding, and we're going to, we're not going to have one party, guys. When I get this town rebuilt and we do this sportsman's club, I'm going to put if I can buy this land that I'm looking at, I'm going to have a huge camping site where not only will there be room for people to bring their campers in and camp, use our facilities and stay there during the summer, use our pool, our swimming, our fishing pond, go in and go to eat at a restaurant that we're going to have there, or cook out with the grills that we're going to provide, the park that we're going to have a basketball court, maybe a tennis court. Not only are they going to be able to use all that, but I'm going to also, with Ron and me and our help of all of our group, we're going to put in campers where people can come in. And let's say, Janet, you don't have a camper, or you don't want to bring it that far, or the same way as you, Bill Woods, or Myrna, you know how far a drive it is. You don't want to bring a camper, but I don't want you paying $100 and some a night, you and Diane, for a room. So we're going to have campers there that you guys can all stay in. And on the weeks that we're going to plan this party, I won't allow any campers to actually be there a lot, because we're going to have at least 30 campers that people can come in and stay at. For the people who we might build a small hotel. People say, why would you do that? Why not? Why not? If we can keep people in a hotel room and not charge them anything. We am not in this. When we do this, when we rebuild this town, Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, or Patriot Princess Our Queen and Patriot Hunter. When we do this, we're doing it to give you guys a chance to get away and come to just a little town that I love. And I want to make it great. Not great with how big it is, but great that people's going to want to come there. And I want to do festivities on maybe a parade on the 4th of July or some other day. I want to have fireworks show like they used to have in Union Hill when this millionaire was alive. I want to have it to where people can enjoy things. But at this resort, I also want to put in a stage where we can you imagine, Pamela, coming all the way and maybe see one of your favorite performers perform? I want to have, once or twice a month, performers come in and do shows, singers like. And when I dream big. If you like country western, maybe we could bring Carrie Underwood in. If you like rock and roll, maybe we can bring Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly. Or how about we bring the king himself in, Elvis Presley? I've been talking to him here lately, and people said, Ralph, you're crazy. I am crazy. Don't you think, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie? Don't you think I'm a crazy guy? Because see, when I dream, I don't dream small. I dream big. And I haven't been doing this for over 15 to 18 to 20 years. I haven't been following. I haven't been disappointed. I haven't had my heart broken, because I want to dream small. I don't want to dream that we'll all have enough money to pay our bills. We'll be able to own our house. And my heart was broken about an hour and a half to 2 hours ago, when a house that, if our president, Donald J. if he would have got off of his fat butt, I'm talking to the kids. If he'd have got off of his butt, there's a house here I wanted to start up with me and Julia. I took pictures and she loved it. And now I find out it's been sold. It's already got people living in it. But you know what? When one opportunity closes, another one opens, and I'm just going to buy land and I'll build our own house in there. Because, see, we don't want a dream home yet. We want to start off in a home like everybody starts off to, Bill Woods and Pamela and Janet. We want to start off in a home that's going to bring Patriot Leona and little Leilani. We want to start off in a home that's going to be a home. And then when we decide, okay, we want the dream home, we'll have been together long enough that we can discuss what we want, how we want it, and where we want it. And that's what we're looking at. And I'm going to add two more kids tonight. And one of them, what is one's name?
What? Oh, Masha's kid?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the boy's name is.
The name for him.
Patriot Cutie Pie.
We're going to add Patriot Cutie Pie and Patriot. We haven't decided yet what his name is, but we will by the next show. These are two kids of Julia's best friends, Masha's. They're her children. They live with Julia and Julia's mom. And we're adding these Cutie Pie, and we don't know his name yet because they're supposed to be working on one and letting us know Monday. I'm also going to add, we haven't come up with a name for Masha yet, but for Julia, she's Patriot Wonder Woman. And Ron looked at me like, what? And there's a story behind that. And if you guys are good, someday I'll share the story. And then her mom's name is Victoria. So we're going to call her Patriot Lady Victoria. I like Miss Victoria, but Ron named her Lady Victoria. Oh, Masha named her. But guys, we're expanding. You know, we had someone on here the other night, kids from New Zealand. And, you know, New Zealand's going to be part of the United States. But let's face it, Terry Barnes, Jeffrey, Janet, John, good to see you, buddy. You know, Lady Anita, you know, I know Papa G's here, but he's not chatting. Come on, Papa G. You know, can you really say what countries ain't going to be part of the USA? Our leader is going to take over the world, guys.
China and Russia.
Huh?
China and Russia.
Ron says China and Russia, but who knows? You know, he was sent for a mission, but we're going to talk about that. But I want to finish with the kids. And, you know, little Kira, I was talking to my daughter Amber tonight, and little Kira just literally, Patriot little Kira, literally almost had my daughter crying the other day. She's 3 years old, and she's never had nothing to do with Auntie Amber. She's not had nothing to do with her. But the other night, Auntie Amber stopped by with Patriot little monkey, and they was in the room, the living room, and we're talking. And Kira couldn't get enough closeness to Patriot, you know, my little daughter Amber. She couldn't get enough of her. And tonight, Amber was on the phone, and she said, could you believe that? And I said, no. And I said, but as soon as you left, I looked at Brandon, and I said, there is one sister of yours leaving that's on cloud 9 right now. See, guys, it's the little things, kids. It doesn't matter if you got a cell phone. It doesn't matter if you got a computer. It doesn't matter anything. You know what you need is you need to get together with your friends and hang out. And look at your mom and dad and say, I'll be home before the street lights come on. Someone looked at me the other day and said, what's a street light? I said, you got to be joking. And they go, no, what's a street light? And I said, oh, you know, we used to have a phone booth. We used to have a phone booth. And I remember as a little kid, I kept looking at the phone booth, waiting to see Superman come and change in there. He never did. But, you know, I was listening, and I'm about done with you, but I was listening to the radio station yesterday, and he was talking about the old days and the phone calls, the prank calls. And it brought me up the prank calls that when I talked to you the other night about the party line calls and that. And I can remember going into that phone booth and calling the operator just to say hi. And he said, sir, what do you need? I said, nothing. And they loved it. And I'm going to tell you one last story about how much fun. We didn't need tablets. We didn't need computers. We didn't need TVs. We didn't need any of that. We had that phone. And I remember one Christmas, me and Ron, and I believe it was Rodney Bertram, we were having a few toasties, you know, something that, you know, Kids can't drink, but grown-ups can. And we was having a good time. We was right here in Ron's house. We got on the phone and we started a conversation. Christmas Eve, is Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, Ron? Christmas Eve. And we started a conversation with this operator. And we took turns. Rodney'd get on the phone, Ronnie'd get on the phone. And we just kept talking and telling her how nice she was and how amazing she was and constantly wishing her a Merry Christmas. Now here we're in the comforts of our home wishing her Merry Christmas. And this girl actually broke down in tears because she was so happy. We could do that back then. Can you call an operator right now? And kids, I'm going to finish with one last story. I seen a little video joke yesterday, and the man says, "Can you please tell me why when I call a place?" Now listen to this, kids, and John and everybody, Papa G, listen to this. Can you tell me why when I make a phone call and they answer and they say, press 1 for English or 2 for another language? Press 1 for English, and I press 1 for English, and they give me someone who can't speak English. So what the hell did I do it for? It's kids, I'm sorry about the HELL toothpicks word, but I got a little carried away because it makes so much sense. We're living in a world where people get lazy. They want to use machines to do anything. You need to start talking. Start talking when you sit down at the supper table. Talk to your mom and dad. It's memories you'll never forget. How many times have I shared on here? We sit down at a certain time every night. We ate supper. We made what mom made. If we didn't like it, we didn't eat. There was no, well, I'll get it, something else and I'll put it in the microwave. If we were late for supper, we didn't eat. We got what was left. When we had chicken and we looked and we counted the pieces and maybe we only cooked one chicken and there was 5 of us or 6 of us sitting at the table. We knew whoever ate the fastest got the second piece of chicken. But that's different times. And that's the times we need to go back to where people will sit down. Don't you agree, John and Jeffrey and Janet? Don't you agree, Kevin and Elaine? That Soretta, we need to go back to the times where we talk to one another. Kids. And that's what it's about. Now, this video is not made for children. And I humbly apologize for using that HE toothpick word in there. I got carried away. I got talking too fast. And I have a tendency to do that. But it's not made for children. You can watch it under the supervision or of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. That concludes tonight's version of the children's part of the show. Also, the music that we played, Proud to Be an American, we have no legal rights to. Anything that I talk about on this show tonight, as I tell you, I believe it to be true. If I don't believe it to be true, I will tell you I think it's a crock. So I just wanted to cover all ends, and I want to thank everybody who's over here chatting and everybody who's watching on the show, and even Ron who's trying to take a nap over there. Nope. He wasn't. He was faking me out. He was actually listening. I got the eye. He gave me the eye, guys. Oh, this should be a good game. Number 3 against number 7. But, sports, I love sports, guys. Everyone, I love sports. And someone says when I talk about my Bears, right, Papa G and John, when I talk about my Bears, Bill Woods, people say, that's rigged. And yes, I do. Yes, I do. Me and Ron used to sit here and tell what plays were going to be run. We would call, hey, okay, Ron, we're on a move. The Bears are on a move. They ain't ready for the Bears to make their move yet. They're going to get a penalty. And boom, they get a penalty. There'd be a play where on one team that the man caught the ball. He was tackled while he was on the ground. The guy wrestled the ball away from me, and it was a fumble. And the very next day when it happened in the Bears game, oh, no, it wasn't a fumble. How can you have 2 sets of rules? But it's rigged because Vegas is running everything. When Vegas took over, when they allowed betting you can bet every play. You don't think them referees don't have things in their ears? You don't think them referees don't have contacts that they can get information to and say, hey, if you want to make some money, I'll make sure that they don't score this time. I'll make sure this team don't score in the first half. There would be penalties called on plays, on touchdowns, the most beautiful plays in the world, and they'd score the touchdown, and the referees would come in and they'd say, illegal motion, and they show the replay and not a person moves. There would be penalty after penalty. So many fines passed out to referees. I don't see how they're going to get someone to referee the Super Bowl, and I could give a rat's behind who does anyway, because I think the Super Bowl is one of the biggest farce events ever. Will I watch it? Yes, because it's something to do. It's something me and Ron can sit here and yell at and scream at and laugh at, because we know the plays before they know the plays. You go back to the Bears game, that the money was on the Bears, so they couldn't let the Bears win. Vegas couldn't let the Bears ring, so ring, 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 ring. Hello, yeah, this is the Vegas, and we're telling you right now, you can't let the Bears win or we lose millions of dollars. And sure enough, the Bears are moving the ball downfield in overtime. They're moving the ball. The team can't stop them. The defense is tired, and they're just moving the ball downfield, and then they call a stupid play and get intercepted. Why? There was a few yards. There was a few yards away from a winning field goal that would have sent them to the championship game. Why? Because Vegas don't lose. They're making more money right now than they've ever made. And until they get the guts to clean it up, until they get the guts to tell Vegas to get the hell out of there, they're never going to stop this. It's going to get worse. And that's why I believe that man, you remember that man, that military man that supposedly died? What was his name, Ronnie? You remember who I'm talking about? Quite a while back. I believe people like him. I believe people like Walter Payton. I believe people that we think are gone are going to come back, and they're going to clean up football. Kobe is going to come back and clean up basketball. There's going to be several going to come back and clean up the other. I believe John Denver and Michael Jackson will come back and clean up the music industry. And right now, if you're doing any reading at all, if you're doing any research at all, you know that California is the crap hole of the United States. But right now, look at how many actors and actresses who are finally coming out and saying, if you don't hear from me again, you know why, because I can't take it any longer. I quit acting because of what they was doing. This whole thing has been run by people called the CABOL or COBAL. It's time it ends. But, we have to get it to end through one gentleman who is smarter than 10 people if he's playing chess. Well, Mr. President, please understand, you're not playing chess. You're playing with millions and billions of people's lives. So get off of your dead rear end and do something. I'm tired of watching your little sick videos about how you're doing things. Yes, as Ron said, why don't you start checkmating these things? And I do have some stuff to read tonight that's going to kind of show that there's checkmates. You guys might be looking and saying, Ralph's on fire tonight. He hasn't shut up. Have I taken a breath? I don't know. And the whole thing of this is, guys, the talking that I'm doing right now was not planned. It's all that every night before I do a show, I ask God to help me. Because I haven't been preparing, because I'm just like you, Papa G. I'm just like you, Janet and Bill Woods. I'm just like you, Robert. Hey, Robert, good to see you, buddy. Robert from Great Britain is on. What time is it there now, Robert? Got to be about 3 o'clock in the morning, ain't it? 2 o'clock in the morning? Robert, tell me what time it is. John Denver, yes, he's going to come back. And the thing about John Denver, Kevin, the thing about him is the one thing I really like, because he's going to come home country roads. He's going to come do that. But the thing I loved was John Denver's Christmas programs. He had the greatest Christmas programs ever. What's that?
I would say it was 1:30 or close to it.
Ron says it's 1:30. Well, I know you're going to tell me what time it is. So anyway, let me open up my phone here and get into the show a little bit. I don't know, guys, what I'm going to do about Bruce and the big call last night, because there's something to read, but I'm going to tell you what Bruce did last night. They first come on And they talked and they talked. These three musketeers, these three stooges, and I won't say three stooges because I love the three stooges and I will not downgrade them. I'd like to say the three whatever, but I'm going to keep it nice because Bruce is a fellow guy that does shows like this. But anyway, he comes on there talking about nothing about the website, their website. I could give a rat's spittoon about their website. I go on there so we can hear what he's got to say. Almost 2 full hours. Marianne was giving me play-by-play, and it was almost 11 o'clock her time before they ended. Bruce had to go away on an emergency phone call. We're thinking, oh, he's going to get something. No, I think Bruce had to go away because they told him that someone mentioned the other night that Bruce said something about something and he was wrong, and he had to admit it. And I think what Bruce has a tendency to do is think he's bigger than he is. And I'm not cutting Bruce down. I'm just saying his shows right now are going in the shitter. They're just in the pot. I don't think. Okay. Robert says it's 135. Ron said it's closer to 1 or 130. So Ron's a winner, chicken dinner. And by no means, guys, do I take any pride in sitting here and cutting down another show. But how much is enough? These people have lived 10 times better than any of us. Do they ever share? Do they ever go to their people and say, hey, we've made this and you're hurting and we're going to help you? No, it's Sue's going to sell another program that she doesn't have a clue about. Sue just talks and talks, and she's got that voice that goes through you, if you know what I mean, Lady Anita. Missouri girl, what do you think? And I don't want to sit here and act like I'm cutting them down, but I just get so aggravated because they have no compassion for their followers' feelings. So, give me a second. I'll get up here and see what's going on. We're going to start off with Bruce and get him out of the way. And it's real short side, guys. So if you want to go get a drink of water, go get a drink of water. By the time you come back, I'll be done. Bruce, January 29, 2026. Bruce says Clarity Act, that's the one that I was talking about, is done per his sources, but government sources say it is still in the Senate. But he hears from inside sources that it is done. This is the one that deals with crypto coins, XRP backs, our new dollar, gold back. Bruce says he will not need, Bruce says he will not need it as he is into exotic currencies. Silver is doing great, and some sources say it will hit $200 by the end of the year. Bruce says, remember Tuesday night, info said we may get notified over the weekend. People from Wells Fargo are getting emails, and from Wells Fargo and HSBC, the emails the redemption center leaders are getting is telling them we should have notifications around next week, around February 4th and 5th of February. Redemption center leaders told to come on Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m. It does not something will happen, have indicated notifications on Wednesday and start exchanges on Thursday, February 4th. Bruce does not this pushed out. He says the vets sources like a military source told Bruce, like a military operation, it can change and morph. One can have a solid intel, then nothing happens. Bruce wants to come in as the intel says it will. And look, guys, I'm sorry. I can't even read this. That's how bad his show was last night. And you know what, Bruce? If you ever take the time to watch one of my shows, you're probably going to say my shows are bad too. But the difference is I'm not trying to steal from my people. And I'll stand by that forever. I have no idea what he said. I could play you his thing, but I don't think we need that. Here's something. My friends, a new chapter is beginning. History is turning a page, and the world is about to step into the future many were told would never come. The arrival of the special beds will mark a turning point for every nation and every family who has waited for hope, justice, and healing. Through our foundation, every holder and freedom monkey will receive access completely free, no cost access barriers. No one will be left behind. In a few short months, when the doors open, you will walk with me together. We will make sure every man, woman, and child receives the care they deserve. This mission is one of the highest priorities. The time has come to restore what was promised and deliver what was denied. Centers will open across the world, from small towns to great cities. Help will reach out every corner of the globe. And for those who missed the first Freedom McKee distribution tomorrow, I have no idea what they're saying there. This come from The Truth is Rising. I agree with some of the things. I believe it's right there. I believe we're ready to go. But the only thing I don't believe in is the fact that it's not going to be a couple months. I hope everything I'm hearing, it's ready to go now. I mean, why would we wait a couple of months? Why would we let more people, innocent people, die, lose their lives, animals die, lose their lives for a couple more months? What are we waiting for? We know it's working. We have been reported that for older people and children, it's working just fine. So why are we waiting? Is it some more ploy? You know, does he want to be president that much that he's keeping us hanging on? I have no idea what's going on. It's time he pulls up his big boy pants and puts the hammer down. It's time that we get what we deserve. Okay, this is something that I wanted to read to you. This is something was posted by Super Jimmy on our Telegram site. And maybe you guys can understand it more than me. Maybe I'm not looking at it logical, but I wanted to read it because in a way it makes sense if you understand it, I guess. Massive market crash. Gold is down 8.2%, and it wiped out nearly $3 trillion from its market cap. Silver dumped 12.2% and erased $760 billion from its market cap. S&P 500 has fallen 1.23 and erased $780 billion. NASDAQ crashed more than 2.5 and wiped out $750 billion. Now, this is an 11-year-old boy posting this, and I have not a clue what he means. Maybe you guys do. Ooh, someone has MS. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe because April 1st is the new year. So, Jeffrey, great point. But why everything we've went through, why can't they come out and say, April 1st is the day we're going to do this? Thank you, Myrna. April 1st is the day we're going to do this. Why can't they? Why is it? Has anybody, not even on Bruce's show, not on any other shows am I seeing it, has anybody heard about the Doge money? What happened to the $2,000 they were going to give us all? What happened to the extra money senior citizens with? He's doing everything for everybody but senior citizens. Oh no, he did something for us. He raised our insurance. Wow, this is the man that we busted our butts. And it wasn't hard to do. They was already cracked before we left. You know, we busted our butts to get to the voting booths to vote him in. And now he's more worried about being seen as a hero. He's more worried about being a king of the world. He's more worried about all this other bull crap than he is the senior citizens. And yes, I know there's a lot of senior citizens in this group. I'm one of them. Ron's one of them. That's why I stick up so much. If you're not a senior citizen, you think I'm greedy, I'm not. But we have been promised so much. He's taken care of the waiters and waitresses so they don't have to pay taxes on their tips. He's taken care of other people, college kids and things like that. All the things he's taking care of, nothing for the senior citizens. You don't even mention when we're going to get any money. The quantum financial system. We have millions of dollars in an account. You know what? We don't have nothing. You know, someone said the other day, I told you some things happened to me and I lost some money. Someone said, and I tried to get it back, but I didn't. Someone said, you lost again? I said, no, the second time I never had it. You can't, Lady and Anita, wouldn't you agree? You can't lose something you never had, right, Kevin? You got to have something. And we're not getting the support that we need. And I'm not cutting this man down. I want him doing the job. But I'm tired of every last day of the month say, well, another one's gone. And that was one thing Ron asked me to say tonight. Well, by the time we meet again, another month is gone. It's the same thing over and over, Missouri Girl and Jeffrey. John, what do you think about it? No, I don't want your opinion right now, John, because I know your opinion, and it might get a little bit rough in here. But no, it's we need help. You know, we keep reading. Gitmo is full. We keep reading. They're arresting all. If they're arresting all these people, why in the heck is nothing happening? What are they afraid of? I'm tired of the bull crap, the lies, the deceit. Get it done. As they say in the Little Giants, it only has to happen once. We have to put an end to this movie or we have to cross the finish line. You know, soon the world will watch the Olympics. And I truthfully hope the Olympics are not rigged. But at this point in life, guys, I don't think there's anything in sports out there that isn't rigged. You know, through the internet, at times I have chatted, which would I consider the greatest woman skater ever, and that's at Camila Velavadiva or whatever her name is, like that. I have commented about her, and we've chatted a little bit, and I've always bragged at seeing her. She does things on a pair of skates that nobody else could do. So what happens as a 15-year-old, and she's doing things that nobody in their career has ever done as a 15-year-old girl, a little bitty girl, and they find her with all kinds of drugs in her system. They said her handlers were not touched, but she got a 4-year suspension. Why? Because they're not ready for her. It's the same old song and dance. People don't get what they deserve. They get what the hat and other people say we get. What has changed for us? He told us 1 month after I take presidency, I'll have the war end in Russia and in Ukraine. It's 13 months in now. And you know what? They're still going. In the middle of the winter, they're going without electricity and have no heat. Me and Ron sent them some money to get some light bulbs, so at least they got light. And we've been looking for some heaters. If anybody knows where we can get heaters and send them there, please let us know, because we'd like to not only send some to them, to some to other people. Do we have a lot of money? No, but we're trying to help people in need. It's the same way that if I see a person that's homeless, I would gladly take and stay whatever amount of money it takes and put him in a hotel that night instead of him sitting outside. But, you know, he don't want that. He wants the money so he can go home to his luxury home. There is homeless people out there, and for them, I'd love to help them. But there's also so many scammers out there. It's pathetic. It's miserable. Wow, what is that? I want to place here.
Why would you ask me to press 1 for English and then immediately put someone on who doesn't know how to speak it?
I wanted to say that's in a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and it's absolutely right. It is. And another thing, here are our man who's in charge, who's taking care of us. I'm going to tell you a story about how he's taking care of me. My insurances went up to over 200. I got a raise, and by the time my insurance went up to over 200 every month, I cleared $12 a month. $144. Thank you, Mr. President, for thinking so much about me to give me an extra $12 a month. I love it so much, and thank you so much. But now what happens? My Part B insurance. I have one medicine that I went with this Part B in May of last year. I went with them because I could get all my medicine free because I have degenerative heart failure. I went with them so I could get this medicine free. And I got it from May until through December. I also was given $161 a month so I could buy shopping over-the-counter medicines. I could buy food. I could buy other things in there. $161 a month. Oh, $100 a month saving in medicine that I don't have to pay, and now turning around and getting $161 that I could spend on things that we need. I thought, wow, this is great. Yeah, well, now I'm paying for both of my medicines more than I was paying before. No explanation. I called him up and asked him. I said, Mr. Anderson, we don't know why. What the hell do you mean you don't know why? And I'm sorry, guys, that's the third time I've used that tonight. It's just that I'm kind of in a zone. And what do you mean? But it gets even better because, see, we only got today and tomorrow left. I haven't placed my order. So I call up and they tell me now my benefits have been cut to $120 a month. I said, why? Why didn't I get a notification? Well, I don't know. I go and I tell them I want this and I want this and I want this. And I get my order complete, and I got to with $118 is what I was going to order today. And they said, sir, maybe we can get you your $2. I said, you got nothing in here in this catalog for $2. I'll bite the bullet. I don't care. Just get me this stuff sent. He said, okay, sir, I'm going to secure the line. I want you to put your number in for the credit card that we give you. I said, okay. He said, okay, the line is secure, and I typed my number in. He said, okay, sir, now could you tell me the exact name on the account? I said, Ralph H. Anderson. He said, okay, sir, now could you tell me the expiration date? And I told him the expiration date. He said, okay, sir, now I'm going to secure the line one more time, and I want you to write the 3-digit code in there. We tried this 3 times, guys. 3 times. They put me on hold for almost an hour because my card was declined. How can my card be declined when it says the name of the company and I everything I put on there exactly correct. I checked it, I double checked it, and I triple checked it 3 times, and it was rejected. And the man said, sir, if you can give me 10 more minutes, I'll get an answer for you. I said, I can't. I got someplace I got to be, and I got to get going. He said, sir, you're going to lose this. I said, I don't give a rat's patoon. If I lose it, I lose it, because I feel right now I've been scammed. You didn't tell me you was raising and making charge of me. I could have stayed with the other company and got it cheaper. And if I'm not going to get the extra stuff for the food and the medicines and over-the-counter medicines, what are you doing? You conned me to come in. I haven't heard nothing from you. And he said, well, you can still order. I said, when? He said, well, we're still open tomorrow. I said, I thought you wouldn't open on Saturdays. No, we're open on Saturdays. We're not open on Sundays. I said, okay. And he said, but I'm going to keep working, and I'll try to find a solution. So when you call in tomorrow, you can get your order. I said, the solution is people need to start telling the truth there. Tell me, Bill Woods, tell me Moon Child Me, or Elaine, are you tired? Are you sick and tired of being lied to? Because I am. And I'm not saying this to bring people down. I'm saying this that maybe just someday all of us patriots are going to have to get together, and we're going to have to show them what we mean business, that it's time. I'm sick and tired of them saying, well, we can't do this because there's so many people that's got their eyes closed. Well, their eyes are going to stay closed because they have no clue. I have not talked to my brother and sister, my other brother, Russ, and my sister, Rhoda. I have not talked to any of my nieces or nephews since Christmas. Why? Because when I talk to them, everything they say is, when's this going to happen? And I say, soon, real soon. And they look at me and they say, that's what you tell me every time. So I avoid these guys. Is anybody here avoid their family because, Pamela, do you avoid your family because you know what they're going to say? Myrna, I mean, it's the same old story, guys. It's the same old story, but we have to keep moving on and forging.
Why would you? Okay, just fly.
Forging forward. We can't let them win. But when they tell me that he's smarter than 10 people, well, maybe he's playing 10 2-year-olds. Because right now, he can't end a war. There's more wars going on over. We can't go into the big N and the big G until the wars are over, which means we can't get our money. Every week we're told, well, we're going to go today or tomorrow. Every week we can't turn back. We can't stop what's happening. It's the same thing over and over. But I'm sure Judy's going to have some good news for us. So let's go find out what she has. Judy's pretty much the thing, and I think I'm not gonna read this. I'll go to Judy. Maybe. Restored Republic via the GCR as of January 30th, 2026. Judy, disclaimer, please be aware of scammers and report anything that you feel is that way. Restored Republic via the GCR 2026, compiled by Judy Bidington, author of the 22 multiple personalities of Jenny Hill, U.S. Incorporated, Government, Fiat, U.S. Dollar, Federal Reserve, IRS, Maritime Law, ends Saturday, 31st of January, 2026. Restored constitutional government, common law, birth Sunday, 1 February 2026, 209 nations globally, currency reset to gold asset-backed currency starts Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Faith makes things possible. Love makes things easy. Hope makes all things work. As of 2026, 27th of January, the deep state cabal lost all, and that all revolved around the Hats takeover of Greenland. On Tuesday, the infinite silver vaults beneath Greenland, guarded for centuries by bloodlines, were seized by the Hats Space Force special operators. That's what made silver bullion in prices, which caused ripple effect on the cabal's global central banks, making them implode. All of which assured that FBI Director Kash Patel was right. Last Monday, he said the government would be closed down on Saturday, 31st of January, 2026. For many years, the deep state puppets in the privately owned Federal Reserve, the cabals, BlackRock, and global central banks have been quietly positioning for a controlled demolition of the fiat U.S. reserved U.S. dollar and planned demise of the global financial system. It was planned as engineered collapse designed to enslave what was left of humanity. Under cabal's digital prison grid, they would take total control of all people. Not going to happen with the Hat and the global military alliance in charge. Trusted sources affirm the plan remained unchanged. As of 28 January 2026, the 10 days of darkness commenced, with power grids and communications undergoing quantum overrides in preparation for emergency broadcast system. FBI Director Kash Patel has confirmed extensions of the blackout worldwide, beginning in the U.S., spreading to secure the transition under Starlink and the quantum financial system. This was the storm we have waited, a sacred period of where darkness falls so that truth may rise, exposing the evils that have bound humanity. Mass arrest continues an unprecedented scale. Over 3.7 million deep state traders detained as of Tuesday, 27th January, with elite troops dismantling networks in more than 32 countries. High-level figures from Hollywood, Big Pharma, Big Tech, and Vatican, and ancient bloodlines were vanishing into military tribunals at GITMO. Hundreds of thousands of precious children have been rescued from underground tunnels, DUMBS, and I'm not going to go into the rest of it. I want to continue our show. These operations were liberating the innocent and bringing the perpetrators to swift justice and restore constitutional republic. On Sunday, 1 February 2026, the quantum financial system goes live worldwide, severing all deep state control. The EBS activates ABD redemption centers open in a Big N, Big G debt jubilee. It was suspected that on Saturday, 31st January, or Sunday, 1 February 2026, every phone on the planet would be hit with a loud, unmistakable alert signal. The signal will be transmitted to phones directly from Starlink's satellites, bypassing traditional mainstream media channels that were controlled by deep state. Over the emergency broadcast system, the President of the United States, President DJT, our military officials in his place, would deliver undeniable evidence, 7 presidential messages, 3 8-hour documentaries revealing tribunals, global corruption, 2020 election, you know what, bioweapon or origins, and the full scope of the child rescues. The First Amendment was expected to be the dissolution of the privately owned by cabal banks, U.S. Incorporated. In other words, according to FBI Director Kash Patel, on Sunday, 1 February 2026, the U.S. government would shut down due to financial crisis. The rest of it is just more saying the same thing over and over and over again. And guys, I am tired. If diarrhea were money, I would be a millionaire. Yes, John. You know, if talking crap was money, a lot of the people that we believe in would be trillionaires. So yes, John, that's one that I've used a long time. I like it. I'm very happy you guys. Hi, Moon. I'm very happy you guys are getting along so well. My daughter is working 2 jobs now, her regular full-time, and does not deliver. You know, it's a shame that people are doing that. As a matter of fact, things are getting to a point I was actually thinking about taking on a part-time job, but I'm not quite ready yet, and I hope I never have to. I sat today and I looked at foreign currency that me and Ron have. I shared some with him, and he was amazed at what we have. And, you know, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying that sometimes you just got to do something to recharge your battery. But I want everybody to just stay focused, stay happy. They're saying everything so much about February 1, Sunday. Let's see. Maybe it's going to be our time. Maybe it's going to be our day.
Maybe it'll be on your birthday.
Maybe it'll be on my birthday, as Ron says, and we'll just move forward. But I want to give thanks to everybody who showed up here tonight, everybody who come in and chatted, everybody who watched the video and didn't chat. It means the world to me. It means the world to me and Ron. But we broke something. We had a streak. We had reached at least 100 watchers now for like 8 straight videos. But it looks like tonight we're going to top out at 91. But that's okay, because that's 91 people that we still touched. That's 90. That's 91 people that give up part of their weekend just to be with us, and we love each and every one of you. So with that being said, have a great weekend, and let's hope and pray you see me on Sunday. Let's hope and pray you see us, and we can discuss some things, and we can go over some things, and we can have some fun. And who knows, maybe we can all tip a glass of a cup of coffee, a glass of coffee. You can see I don't drink much coffee, but a cup of coffee, some iced tea, or maybe a hot chocolate. Let's pray for better weather. Let's pray for the people who really need this to happen more than even we do. And Jerry Wells, thank you for coming on. Jerry Wells, some people have been without. Yes, they have. In a lot of places here in the United States, they've been without power. You know, my son-in-law went to North Carolina from Clifton, Illinois, to make sure people in North Carolina had power. He got it back restored within. It took them a while to get their trucks down there, but they had them restored within 2 days. You know, but I don't hear anybody saying to the people who actually getting out there and doing it, wow. So anyway, everybody, we love you all. Have a great weekend. Stay positive. Keep your vibrations up. If you have any questions, ask. There's no such thing as a dumb question. With that, good night. God bless. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday, if not before.